Good evening, everyone. Thursday evening, Friday morning, I guess now. We're going to concentrate on the 11th floor this evening. Wasn't much up on 12th happened tonight aside from a few paint touch-ups. So I'll focus on getting you those tomorrow. Okay, so this room is very dark. Bear with me for one moment, and I'm going to get a light hooked up here. I'm sorry. Oh dear. I'm in the process of starting our cleanup here, so just bear with me one moment while I get some lights on here. Okay. Alright, so 11:25. We have our carpet in. Our installer came in this evening. His name was George. Fabulous job. Our seam along this wall, I don't know if you can see that or not, is absolutely flawless. Just top-notch, excellent work. So, of course it's filled with things again, but excellent. Looks really, really good. So, I spoke with Arsenault Brothers about our ceiling. We're going to take a look at this tomorrow evening. They focused on drywall tonight, so we will be getting temporary lights put in. We'll get our tiles up and our diffusers up. So that will be taking place within the next day or so. Alright, so we'll move right along here. Just going to unplug this light. Alright, so I have not heard back from Atlantic Pro Painting yet on either the wall vinyl, which in my opinion the three that were done need to be redone. So I haven't heard back on any of the painting or anything for these doors, whether they're being stained or painted, so just waiting to hear. I have spoke to Jim at Economy Glass, and he says that these glass panels, confirms they are in Newfoundland and they should be here within a few days. So that's good news. Okay, this is where all the action was happening tonight now. Alright, where do we start here this evening? So, we released our vents this evening in this area. Okay? And released the one that was there. We are going to relocate these. They are going to be flush mounted with the TR when it gets put in. We are going to have one vent in that location right there. It will be blowing down on top of the drywall that's existing there. And it will be venting air into the room that way. This one will be roughly in this location, running the same way as the drywall. Another one in that location, right there. Sorry, right there. It will be centered off of that corner, the same as this one is centered off of that corner. And then our fourth one will be turned in that direction. That will allow us to get our light in here that we need. Okay. Secondly, you can see drywall going up as we speak. All of our sound masking is in between these rooms. I apologize for the noise. So, our sound masking went in, and it came down the full, it came straight down and then in 90 degrees to the wall, and then 2 layers of drywall over top of that. And the sound masking itself is 2 layers. Seam filling continued in here. This is very poor lighting, and I do apologize. I should have been better prepared and had some lights in here. Oh, you can't even see that. I'm going to get a light hooked up there, and I'll show you in a few minutes at the end of the tour what we've done. Chesley, could you please, that room that was carpeted this evening, there's a light in there. Could you please grab that light, hook it up to this extension cord for me, please? I'd appreciate that. So in this area, we have a 16 by 16 hatch that's made and ready to go in there once the drywall is hung. Our sprinkler gentlemen were in this evening. They do have to come back tomorrow. The only proper place for this sprinkler, goodness, come on. The only proper place for this sprinkler will be in the center of the bulkhead, because if it comes into the room this way further and it ever happens to go off, it will just spray water against the bulkhead that's going to be there. We are continuing taking the tile up here and get this room scaled for the first of the week to allow flooring to continue. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. That's great, thank you. Sure, we can plug that one in if you can. I think there's multiple ports in that cable there. We have another carpenter on site with us tonight. Al is going back tomorrow morning, so we have Chris Reese with us here. He's joined the crew, and he's been working out fantastically tonight, so that's good news also. Okay, so we have our core holes drilled. Everything's done down on 10. It's all taken care of. So our TV guys were here. They're going to come back next week. They weren't able to run their cables tonight because the plan was to run down here, come across this direction, come up this wall, and then run our cable from there over to above the television and then down. So once we get downstairs to the 10th floor, we realized that there is a hallway right underneath this wall, and it's all drywall. So in order for that to happen, we'd have to make a mess of the drywall ceiling down there. So what they've decided to do was, from this location, do the same thing that the electrical gentleman did for their chase, was they're going to go, pardon me, goodness. We're going to go down over to that location. They are going to come up through the floor, right up through that chase that's there. They're then going to come across, feed the wire over to this light chase. They're then going to bring that straight down and into the plug. It works out to be about 80 feet of cable to do that. So they're going to need a 125 footer. They're going to get I believe it's a 125 footer, they said. And that should be in next week, about a week, they should be here to do that. So, keeping you abreast of what's going on there. So, we have a 16 by 16 hatching around this corner. It of course will be beaded. That is MDF panel. That will be a great solution, which will allow them access up to the heating relays that are up there. And we have the same one on the other side. Okay. The sprinkler gentlemen were here, like I had mentioned. They will be tomorrow. They'll be back, and what they will be concentrating on doing tomorrow is they need to have one sprinkler. They need to have one sprinkler actually put over in this vicinity. They've got one that's going inside the closet, that's in, and then one behind the sliding glass door. which the track has been installed this evening. So we need to determine how that's being finished off, how this wall is being finished off to receive the end of the track. Other than that, everything else is in. Okay. That pretty much ties up things in that area this evening. We continued on with some baseboard and some odds and ends in between job cycles. So that should take care of things for this evening. I'll show you more of the 12th floor tomorrow, the touch-ups that were completed up there. Right now the electrical guys are up in room 1226. They're putting some plugs in, switch plates on in there. So in 1226 is going to get his final coat of paint tomorrow evening. And then when the TV gentlemen come back, Pat, they will be everything will be ready for them to completely finish off the job. So aside from that, we put in a few door stops this evening in different locations that required them, and tying up some loose ends. So anybody has any questions, as always, please don't hesitate to ask. I think it's great in the morning when I check my phone and I've got lots of replies on the videos, which is great because the communication is really helpful. So I thank you for that. So I will talk to you tomorrow evening. Have a great day.